Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your Silver Screen Surfer back again with Watch It or Not TV. Yes, tonight we have watched Avatar, but first I want to address something. It's bomba clad call out here still, you see me? Odeon Leicester Square. I want to tell you something. Like, it's a beautiful cinema. I love the decor, but why the fuck is it so cold in there? What's that about, bruv? Anyway, moving on. Yes, we watched Avatar 2, which is also known as Avatar Way of Water. Yes, written and directed by James Cameron. So this one features Zoe Saldana, Cliff Curtis, CCH Pounder, who's a veteran actor. You've seen her in, you've definitely seen the film with CCH Pounder in it. Although, there's a few actors, let me finish. Sigourney Weaver, Kate Winslet, Sam Worthington, also back from the original. Now, I'm struggling to figure out who was CCH Pounder and who was Kate Winslet in this film, because they were obviously blue, and I don't know why I go on for the ting, bruv, because I don't know who was who. I don't know who Kate Winslet was, and I'm usually good with voices, and I have no idea who the fuck she was in this movie. And I don't know who CCH Pounder was either. Tell me now. I would describe it as, ha ha, Black Panther 2 got the Blue Water people in before you, James Cameron. My boo to you. Obviously, that's a little dig at James Cameron. He's been critical of the Marvel films. I think he said something along the lines of, they have no heart. But bro, you're here making franchise films with blue people and you're criticizing another franchise. Behave. It may just be a bad case of the haterade, bruv. This one is an action, adventure, fantasy, sci-fi movie. And let me give you a quick synopsis. Right, obviously, like I said, it's a follow-up to 2009's Avatar. We only had to wait 13 bloody years for the sequel, innit? Take your time, honestly, mate. No rush. Now, was it worth the wait? Let me tell you. We're back in Pandora with Jake and Neytiri. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but it's not even a real name, so it doesn't really matter, does it? We're back in Pandora with Jake and Neytiri, and they've started a family. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now, for me, considering 90% of this movie is CGI, the people, most of the players in this film are not there. It's literally computer generated, and it was amazing. It was emotional. I connected with the characters. The ratio of blue people to humans, considering all of that, I connected emotionally with these blue people, bruv. What is that about? It was a beautiful movie. It's honestly beautiful to look at. The cinematography was amazing. And again, 90% of that was probably fake as well. There was fake whales in this bitch. I forgot to mention, I actually watched this in 3D. I'm not usually a big fan of 3D movies, but for me, this genuinely was amazing. Now, I remember going to watch the first one at BFI IMAX, and I remember, I think it was Neytiri firing an arrow at the screen. A man ducked in it. Like, real talk. I actually ducked from the arrow. And it's a similar thing again. I think this is the perfect movie to show the power and the beauty that can actually be displayed using 3D. I'm still not going to break my neck to go and watch 3D movies, but maybe for the next Avatar sequel, I actually wouldn't mind going and watching it again in 3D, because it generally does work here. Like I say, I'm not usually a big fan of it, but in this instance, I would generally recommend you go and watch it in 3D. But if you can, try and have a central seat. This movie probably shows how advanced both 3D and CGI is now, because I think in some films, they don't always convey the emotion of the character through the CGI. And in this instance, I generally felt it, man. There was emotional parts of this film where there wasn't one single human on the screen, and genuinely, it worked. It does work. For me, honestly, and I don't say this often, there wasn't much bad about this movie. It was well put together. I think James Cameron has got form in terms of big blockbuster movies. We can go back to Terminator 1 and 2. He did one and he made a better sequel. I genuinely think this sequel is better than the original again. And I'm trying to think if James Cameron has done any other franchises apart from Terminator and Avatar. And I don't think he has. I could be wrong. Don't at me. But I could be wrong. But I think his two big franchises are Terminator and Avatar. And you know what? Both times I would say he's improved on the original. I really, really, really liked the original film, but I didn't jump on the hype like most people did. I think people lost their fucking minds for that movie. And I think visually, it was a visual spectacle and it was amazing. But I just wasn't feeling it to the same level as most people were. But in this instance, I would say he's amped up the action, he's amped up the emotion. I didn't mention the action. The action is amazing in this film. Some of the set pieces, some of the action sequences, and bruv, it's making me want to go and cop a bow and arrow. I'm gonna be rolling down these streets with a bow and arrow on my back, bruv. Saying move to me in it, see what happens. There wasn't much black about this movie, but there's a lot of blue. It's a lot of fucking blue, man. Yeah. And okay, what I would say is there is like a war cry which the Navi use. I think that's what they're called. And it's directly purported from Swahili culture. Like, yeah, there's a lot that's borrowed from, I would say, indigenous cultures of Africa, from South America. And yeah, man, I mean, James Cameron gave these people their flowers. I hope you're distributing some of that Avatar money to these people that you're borrowing the culture from. Because cultural appropriation, we are not down with it, bruv. And I remember me and my boy Leo, we had this discussion when we watched the first film about the whole, you know, how much is taken, or I should mention the indigenous people of America as well. How much is taken from these cultures, how much is used and how much is borrowed, and how much credit are you giving to the people that you actually, how much credit are you giving to the people? And fuck the credit, pay them some money, yes? So Surfer Squad out of 10. Now as a movie, as an impartial moviegoer, which I'm not, this was so entertaining and so good that I'm gonna go crazy. Go crazy and give it a 9. Fuck it. It's a 9. It's a really good movie. This is cinematic blockbuster spectacle entertainment. Like it does what it says on the tin and it works. It's got the emotion, it's got the action, it's got the drama. And I keep going back I keep going back to the whole CGI and emotion thing. I didn't think it could work so well. This may, and this is a big statement, don't fucking at me. This may be the best example of emotion represented in the CGI. I think, in my experience of going to the cinema, this may be the best. Yes. Anyway, in case it wasn't made clear in my review here, it's definitely a watch it. Silver Screen Surf wrapping up for Watch It Not TV. Yeah, man. Follow the thing, man.